Joining me now from Tel Aviv is NBC's Raf Sanchez. Raf, this comes at a time of high tension, to say the least, between the White House and Bibi Netanyahu's administration. A lot of anger, I'm told, in Israel. You'll know this better than I, over the president's comments to CNN last week about withholding weapons, and a lot of anger here about Netanyahu saying at the critical time in the hostage negotiations that they were going into Rafah with or without a deal, which many people in Washington, in the administration, feel really sabotaged an agreement that perhaps never would have gotten off the ground anyway, because maybe Bibi doesn't want a deal and maybe Sinwar doesn't want a deal, is what some officials are telling me. What is your take on all of this at a time of, new insurgencies in Gaza City and Khan Yunis and other places they thought they had under control?
So, Andrew, exactly as you said, this is a moment of high tension between the White House and the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu right now. You have a situation where the president is simultaneously withholding the shipment of some weapons to Israel, including those massive 2,000-pound bombs, and then it's sending other weapons like tank shells, like mortar rounds, like tactical vehicles. Now, critics would say that this is the White House sending kind of confusing mixed messages, raising questions about how determined it is to enforce President Biden's red line that Israel should not go into Rafah when they are sending some weapons, not others. I think the president's defenders would say that this is the U.S. striking the balance. They are withholding the kinds of weapons that they fear would cause massive casualties in Rafah, as those 2,000-pound bombs have in other parts of Gaza, but they are continuing to give Israel the weapons it needs to defend itself. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu was on CNBC a little earlier today, and he was asked about this fundamental disagreement he has with President Biden over his plan to go into Rafah. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Yes, we do have a disagreement on Gaza, rather on Rafah. But we have to do what we have to do. I hope we can see eye to eye with the United States. We're talking to them, but ultimately we do what we have to do to protect the life of our nation.
And, Andrew, as you know, the U.S. is also pressing Israel to come up with a political plan for the future of Gaza, something to secure the peace beyond just this kind of whack-a-mole warfare that we're seeing Israel fight against Hamas. Prime Minister Netanyahu, 7 months into this war, remains totally reluctant to sketch out any details, but today he reiterated in Hebrew for his domestic political base that he will not allow the Palestinian Authority to go back into Gaza to be the government there, which is in outright defiance of the White House's position. Andrew?
Yeah, the White House position, Raf, is that that's not a great solution. They're not happy with the lack of reform from the Palestinian Authority, but they say it's the only solution right now. And there's also criticism, we understand, from generals from the military in Israel that there isn't a day after plan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think, this reminds us a little bit of what you saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. The troops can go in, they can fight, they can win on the battlefield, but if there isn't a plan to secure the peace afterwards, you have a recipe for a forever war. And you are seeing Israeli forces going back into areas of northern Gaza, like the Jabalia refugee camp, like the Zaytun neighborhood of Gaza City, where they have operated 2-3 times already, and it is just not clear that they are going to be able to hold this space if they can't come up with some kind of alternative to Hamas. Andrew?
Raf Sanchez, as always, thanks so much.